Welcome, everybody. We've got Mike and Nora with AssumeList. We're going to be talking about how you can get 3 signed agreements in 10 days. Nora is going to be leading this. It's a big surprise. It's going to be fun. I think I'm going to be learning a lot, so I'm ready to take notes, Nora. Where do you want to start, guys?
Well, Tristan,
So I
thanks
think
for having
Mike,
us back on. I'll just go ahead and get us oriented here, get us introduced. We're having a record year in sales. I know a lot of folks out there are cringing at the market is turning, and certainly the market. I do sense the market is turning. There's a lot
Mhm.
of listings out there that are sitting on the market a little longer. Right, we're seeing days on market go up.
Yep.
And we're seeing a little bit of kind of a step back in some buyer demand. Normally, we see pretty strong demand this time of year in the spring months. Certainly, in my home market, the Northern Virginia kind of DC market, a lot of military movers and a lot of people buying homes. Generally speaking, this time of year, we've seen a little bit of a step back. That said, my team, have seen and are experiencing really massive growth, and we have a significant buyer pool in our pipeline is the largest it's ever been because of what we're going to talk about today, right? We're going to share with everybody the secrets on, right? The topic today is how to get 3 signed buyer agreements in 10 days. And I can tell you right now, I personally have, I think, either 5 or 6 assumptions under contract right now, separate from
Wow.
my regular business, right? From my traditional new mortgages. So it's double that with the other business, just me personally. And so my team, we have, we're closing, I think, about 4 to 5 assumable purchases per month right now. So we are really doing fantastic because the market has kind of taken a step back a little bit.
Mhm.
There's not, to be clear, there's not a shortage of demand for buyers seeking to purchase homes with assumable mortgages, right? So there's little impact to that niche within the real estate industry because buyers still don't want to take out loans at 5.5% and 6% or 7% or whatever interest rate they happen to be right now. I think it's 6.5 to 7. So buyers still want to take advantage of low rate mortgages, and the agents that can provide that are really seeing their businesses grow. So we're going to talk about that today. I brought in my head of training, Nora Simpson, who is a miracle worker in developing strategies, buyer strategies, and different ways to market yourself as a professional in this industry. And so, Nora, I'm going to turn it over to you, and we're going to just jump right into it. Tristan, ask questions. Put your hat on as that agent that says, well, hold on a second, explain this to me a little bit better. So we want you to kind of be that litmus test, but we're really excited to share this technique, the strategy that has been developed by Nora and my team. We've refined it and we're implementing it. It works. This works.
I love
Nora,
that.
over
Well,
to
let's
you.
get.
thanks, Mike. So Mike knows that I've taught my neuroscience of sales methodology to about 200 real estate teams. And I just get really excited about assumptions. So Mike, can you share your screen and show the slide that we created?
Let's do it.
So a lot of you are familiar with like intense intense ways that we use the sales funnel, right? Like the sales funnel is sort of a classic way that we get ourselves excited and get our network excited about working with us. Generally most people are going to have 1,000 humans that they actually know and can contact, but we all know that real estate agents get really nervous about calling their network. So let's just say you start in a perfect world, you start with 1,000 people you've identified in your network as people who would at least not hate you for texting them, right?
Okay.
But you
And
can start with as
let me
few
just
as
ask, so
100.
Nora, for real estate term, from the real estate folks in this
Sure.
industry, that's typically how many people are in your CRM, right? A lot of agents have hundreds, if not thousands of people in your CRM. So think of it from that standpoint. Who is in your CRM or who is in your cell phone that can be added to your CRM, and think of that as your start point. Not everybody has 1,000 people. I know when I first got into real estate, maybe I had 100 or 200 or 300 people in my database. But think of the standpoint as who is in your sphere of influence, who is in your world that you can reach out to, right? And so the number we're starting with, at least for the purpose of this class today, is 1,000 people. That's the metric we're going by. If you have 2,000, great. 3,000, amazing. But start with as many people as you can come up with, and that's kind of your start point. Nora, back over to you.
Thanks, Mike. And the truth is, even if you only have 50 people, we can start there because the magic is going to happen as you begin to actually take action. Some of you have taken some of these like 10 days of pain classes or bold classes, things like that. This is somewhat modeled on that, but it uses the magic of how much assumptions are crazy good news for everyone you've ever met and really everyone they've ever met. So in order to set yourself up for success, we're not just going to have you randomly call, text, and email people. We're actually going to have you prep an education sequence. Now, in order to get access to the info that you're going to use for this education sequence, you're going to need to be an AssumeList subscriber so you have access to the Agent Learning Center. You're going to go first and foremost to our script section, and you're going to open up the script that's called Spreading the Good News About Assumptions. Now, in that script, it's a one-page script. And here's the essence, the most important thing that we teach people to tell everyone they've ever met. Here's how it goes. Hey, I've got a way to help buyers purchase homes with 2.5%, 3%, and 3.5% mortgages. It's a little complex, but it is doable. Do you have a minute to talk about it now, or should we talk a little later? What I just said can be a phone call or a text. I'll say it one more time. Hey, I have a way to get buyers access to homes with 2.5%, 3%, and 3.5% mortgages. It's a little complex, but totally doable. Do you have some time to talk about it now, or should we schedule a time? Literally 3 sentences.
Easy.
Okay. Tristan, you tracking with me so far?
So far, so good.
All right. So that's the thing we start with, right? That's summarize the script into a short opener text or email. Then before you ever start, we're going to create a follow-up education email. Your follow-up education email, once you've actually chatted with people, because we want to have this all ready to go. So this is easy peasy. You're just pressing buttons, right? Your follow-up education email will include the following. It'll include a text that says, hey, it was so great to talk with you. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. Hey, it was so great to talk with you. Just like I promised, here are the links to a video for buyers. And that link is your fastest path to life-changing savings. That's a 3.5-minute video. And it stars me, AssumeList Hollywood over here. So it'll say, here are the videos, here is the link to your buyer video. And then you'll quote it and say, your fastest path to life-changing savings. And you'll put that link right in.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll say, and here's the link to the seller video. And you'll quote the title and say, assumptions are great for sellers. And then you'll attach 2 fact sheets. This is all in our Buyer Learning Center. It's all downloadable, copyable, etc. And the first fact sheet is the assumption fact sheet, which you see on this slide. And the second one is busting myths about assumption.
That's cool.
So you'll just say in this email, hey, great to talk with you. Here are the 2 videos I promised, title link, and 2 fact sheets. And then here's the craziest thing you're going to say. You're going to say this in an email and you're going to say it in the conversation. But I'll say what it sounds like in the email first. Just like we talked about, I would be so grateful to you if you would forward this email to as many people as you possibly can think of, because we are dealing with a time-limited opportunity. And I want the good news about assumptions to reach as many people as possible. So that's your prep. You've got all that ready to go. Now you're going to call and text everybody. And you're going to start with a simple text and email opener, right? If they don't pick up the phone when you call, no problem. You're just going to text and email them. And you're going to say what I just said. You're going to say, hey, I have a way to get buyers access to homes with 2.5%, 3%, and 3.5% mortgages. Do you have a minute to talk? Most of them will get back to you because this is brand new news for most people, especially because in most regions, as of yesterday, interest rates are above 7%. So most people will get back to you. Then you find a time to talk to them and you use your script and you say, listen, and this is in the Spreading the Good News About Assumption script. This is all you have to say. You say, this is this amazing thing. I have access to all the on-market and off-market properties in our area that have rates below 5% and are assumable.
That's a good script.
I'm just telling you what I've already written. It's in our learning center. And I'm asking you a really special favor. I'm not just asking you to think about this for yourself because you may or may not be looking to buy, and that's totally cool. I'm asking you to take this email that I'm about to send you, and I'm asking you to forward it to everyone you know. Why am I asking you to ask all of the people you've ever met to forward an email to everyone they know?
Let's see what everybody says. Guys, what do you think? Why?
That is like a red, like that is like a red, yellow, green, like yellow answer. I want like a crazy green light answer. Try another one, Tristan. You're doing great.
All right, go.
All right.
Can I jump in? Can we phone a friend here?
Do it.
I guess so. Go ahead, Mike Larino.
So when I hear that question, it's because more times than not, the response that we get from buyers and sellers who hear about this information, the response is, well, how come I didn't hear about this earlier? How come I never heard about this before? What does this mean? Is this real? Is this legitimate? Are assumptions something that anybody can do? And it starts triggering questions in people's minds. And the more information they learn about it, the more they're intrigued by what it actually can do or the benefits that it actually provides. And so a lot of times when we initially have conversations with folks, they will often say, this is amazing. I've never heard of this before. How come I've never heard of this? Or they'll say, I wish I knew about this 6 months ago. And so that is the position we put folks in when we say, share this with everybody you know, because those people that we talk to, the responses that they will get from their network will be very similar. Is this real? Is this legit? Well, I don't know. Call Nora. Call Tristan. Here, let me forward you the email that Tristan sent me. And this, I'm acting as that consumer, that client that you may have spoken to. And I'm calling my network. Well, I don't know. Check out these materials that Tristan sent me. You give him if you have questions, call him up. It sounds like he knows what he's talking about. This is all new to me too. I guess it's real. Tristan's a reputable guy. He knows what he's doing. He's been in real estate for a while. He's not going to blow smoke. Right. So give Tristan a call. He'll help answer your questions. And what we're doing is we're positioning ourselves. We're positioning agents to be the experts in this field. Right. There's a field we call it assumable mortgage industry or the assumption niche. And there's not many agents out there that can speak intelligently or comprehensively about this topic. And the agents that can, the agents that position themselves to do so, stand to gain the most over this next 3, 6, 9, 12 months as we're going through this kind of period of uncertainty with the real estate industry, right? So that's what this entire premise of today's kind of class is. Yes, 3 signed buyer agreements in 10 days, very doable. I'm probably signing 2 a week right now, 3 a week personally, by using this exact technique. And
Mike, there's one more. That's like the light green answer. I want to give you the dark green answer. Can I give you the dark green answer? So the dark green answer, and this is the thing that we have to remember about most real estate agents. Most real estate agents got into real estate because they love helping people. Most real estate agents are honorable, kind, thoughtful, and the fact that they get to earn an honest living by helping families find homes makes them really happy, like deep in their heart. That's who most real estate agents are. It's one of the reasons I love working with real estate teams more than any other company or a type of company. So the dark green answer, like the super, string of red lights. I mean, green lights. Yes, exactly, Tara. Thank you. The super, amazing string of green is this. You are probably the only person among a radius of maybe 50,000 people in your area who knows that this opportunity exists. It's that underutilized, it's that misunderstood, it's that rare to have people actually hear about assumptions. So you are the only person who has the ability to give hope to possibly thousands of people who feel totally priced out of the marketplace right now. And that's what I get up every morning getting excited about, is that I think to myself, you know, my favorite part of being on the AssumeList team and being head of education and training is that I think we at AssumeList have the power to help hundreds of thousands of families
I agree with that.
achieve home ownership in ways that are financially workable, that would not be workable for them if they didn't have access to assumptions. We are in 22 states now. We are growing like weeds, right? We are so excited. And it's because we're on a mission. And if you take that on, if you say, this is my mission too, I want to make sure that everyone in my local market knows that this exists. And by the way, it's time limited. Time is the enemy of assumptions. People keep paying down their mortgages. You know, those assumable mortgages with the desirable rates were issued in 2019, 2020, 2021, and a few in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So as time stretches on, it gets harder and harder to assume those mortgages without enormous second mortgage stuff that can just make it really hard for folks. So right now, in fact, Mike's real estate team has a client they spoke to this morning, where when we were prepping for that, I said to the people working with this particular family, I said, tell this lady that this is going to be a hard time. This is going to be threading a needle because they're going to have to sell their current home, collect the cash from their current home, use it as their cash down for their new home because they're really trying to trade up from a 4-bedroom to a 6-bedroom. They have a third kid now. It's madness. They really need a bigger place. Tell her that it's going to be a tough one, but if anybody can do it, this team is the one to do it. And if there's any time to do it, it's right now. Because 6 months from now, those cash gaps are going to be so much bigger. So it's really about seizing the time right now. Okay, someone else talk.
Well, I love the urgency you place into the comments and dialogue. I think if we all speak that way with that confidence and that tonality, right, that comes across very well and convincing so people understand the urgency behind it. That's part of what we're missing too when we talk to people.
Yeah, and people, and the thing about this, Tristan, is this doesn't come across as a sales pitch. The purpose is not. It's really to provide them with options that they've never heard about before, right? Assumptions are not your typical, hey, let me help you buy a home or sell a home. It's, hey, I have something I can offer you that very, very few agents out there even know how to do or even heard of. And it's really putting you as an expert in this area and putting you in a position of really being able to share an experience or share an opportunity with buyers and sellers who otherwise would have no knowledge on how to actually do this, right? So when I have these conversations with buyers and sellers about a lot of these sellers, we talked about this in the past, sellers in what's called rate lock, right? This rate lock is this term that's used where maybe they bought 4, 5, 6 years ago and they have a really low rate, and they have a new baby, or maybe they want to take a job on the other side of town and or a different location. They don't want to sell their current home to give up their low rate in order to take out a mortgage with 6.5 or 7% rates. So they're sitting put. They have they don't know of any solution to get themselves out of it. And when you come along and say, hey, there is a solution and I can share with you how to do it, and this is the process and this is the steps and here's how we go about doing it, all of a sudden people just realize, wow, I wish I knew about this 6 months ago, or, oh my God, I didn't know this even existed, right? And those are the kinds of responses that we get literally on a daily basis. And that's what makes this so powerful, is it really empowers the agent, because the buyer can't just go figure it out, do some research online and go try to do an assumption on their own. We talk to buyers time and time again who've tried to be unrepresented. They've tried to do it without an agent. I don't want to say it can't be done. I've never heard it being done. So really this is a way where we as real estate agents are positioned to really take advantage of this. And this is an opportunity that we can now talk to with our network to really make ourselves look like true experts, which we are, but it really shares something with our clientele that have no knowledge and really have no way to kind of figure this out on their own.
Thank you, Mike. There's a question because it always comes up, but aren't most conventional loans not assumable? That's the question. So
That is
yes,
correct. Yeah. Only about 5% of conventional loans have an assumable clause in them. And really, there's no way to know which ones are and which ones aren't without the actual homeowner contacting their lender and asking the question. Most homeowners with conventional loans don't even know if their mortgage is assumable. It does require them to contact their lender. And like I said, only about 5% of conventional loans are. But what we do know is 100%, without question, all VA, FHA, and USDA loans are assumable. So these are government-backed loans, and this is where AssumeList platform, we curate a list and have available to us every single government-backed loan, both actively listed and off-market, and all those homes are searchable on the platform. And that's really the kind of the core of how to identify these properties with assumable mortgages.
Yep. And the magic here is not, I mean, we would love if conventional loans were assumable. For right now, most of them are not. But really running the numbers, if 10%, give or take, of the marketplace is assumable, the sad part is that 90% of assumable loans are not advertised that way. So 90% of the opportunity is being lost, number one. Number two, more than 70% of agents representing those homes with assumable mortgages have no idea how much value they are sitting on, both for their sellers and potential buyers. So that's really, right? That's really the heartbreaking truth of it. That's why it's all about being on this mission and saying, hey, you, whoever you are in Utah, which we just opened in Utah, in Arizona, in Texas, in Virginia, in Florida, in where else, Mike? Southern California, Sacramento, wherever you are, you have access to knowledge that most of the people in your network, most of the parents whose kids go to school with your kids, most of the people who go to church or synagogue or the mosque with you, right? Whoever it is that you're connected to, they don't know this. And this won't last for long. You are the only one who knows. So if you are not the one sharing it, how else are they going to find out?
I think two things are a challenge for us as real estate agents.
Sure.
One is we don't know, right? We just don't know. Like, how many agents do I talk to? They're like, what do you mean it's assumable? This isn't assumable, right? And then that's the whole education. That's one.
Right.
And then
Right.
there's another big hurdle, which is, okay, now that it's assumable, what do we do? Like, who can help us with the loan, right? So how do we solve that second one now that we got over the first one?
Well, and that's why subscribing to AssumeList gets you access not just to the search platform, which our genius founder, Mr. Mike Larino, built so beautifully. It also gets you access to the full AssumeList ecosystem. And our agent education center, our agent learning center is fully built out. It's got loads of fact sheets and videos all about exactly this. So number one, we have preferred lenders who can issue second mortgage purchase HELOCs that will cover up to 95% of the price of the home that's left over. Well, so let me say it this way. People need to put down between 5 and 10% of the current list price in order to qualify for these purchase HELOCs.
Got it.
But then you can run the numbers and deal with, let's say, if it's, a $700,000 home and somebody puts down $70K and there's a $200,000 cash gap, you can take out a purchase HELOC for $130,000. And if you're blending it with a $500,000 assumable mortgage remaining balance at 2.5% or 3%, guess what? You're still saving loads of money off of a primary mortgage at 7%. So we have those lenders in every region that we cover. We have lenders who will offer that level of second mortgage support. And we also have our Easy Button team, and our Easy Button team can assure a 30 to 45-day close, which is usually the thing that most agents are most scared of. They're afraid of all the transaction management and all the endless hours on the phone with the bank and all of the servicer resistance. And we've got that figured out and solved for you guys so that you really can go on the mission to share it, and then solve it and get people to the finish line.
Very true. Very true. I love this. Nora, we should have you on more often. I love your energy. This is
Yeah.
great. Thank you so
Tristan,
much.
what are the questions you got? What are we missing? Is this, I mean, we wanted to keep this really focused, really simple today. We really, we can go talk about assumptions in the
Here's
weeds.
what I wrote down. I had
Yeah.
one question from what you've seen, Nora and Mike, since you have some of these under contract assumable assumptions under contract. Who would you say we should target first in our database? Like, who are those people that we're reaching out that you're having most success with?
I often engage folks that recently reached out to me or had recent conversations with about real estate because I know they're in the mindset of thinking about real estate. Maybe it's somebody who contacted me a month ago or a few weeks ago, and we had a conversation. And ultimately, they're just kind of like, on the bench. We call those people just like sitting on the sidelines. Maybe you're like, interest rates are really tough right now. So or often say, well, we're saving up for, we're saving our building savings for a down payment. So when you start getting you're having a conversation with people about real estate, but they're just not moving. That we call them these people stuck, right? They're stuck. They're not taking action. I would start with those people because they're interested. And for whatever reason, usually it's tied to interest rates, home prices, financial picture. Like this is a great place to start with them because they are looking for solutions. They are looking for a hack, right? A way to overcome some obstacle. And this provides them with another way, another viewpoint to look at how home buying can occur, right? We can solve their problem, and perhaps an assumption is a solution for them. And let's just be clear, assumptions aren't a solution for everybody. It's you do need to qualify for a mortgage, right? You do need to have some cash, right? Like we talked about, minimum is really 5% down, ideally 10% down, unless the cash gap is really small. A lot of markets, like in Texas and Florida, for example, you can do an assumption with virtually zero down payment because the loan balance and the purchase price are almost at parity.
Yeah.
So those cases, a lot of investors are sucking up these assumable mortgages in places like San Antonio or Tampa, Orlando, where they're literally buying homes with nothing down with these assumable mortgages. But to answer your question, start with the people in your database that or maybe it's past clients. Another way to start is talk with folks that you've recently worked with. You said, hey, I know we didn't do this when you purchased your home or when you sold your home, but this is a new tool that I have access to. And I just wanted to spread the word and let folks know this is something that I now have access to. And I wanted to see if there's anybody that is looking to buy a home or sell a home that may benefit from this.
And also, I would just say, in sales, the thing about sales is that most of us try to pre-game it, if you will. Like we try to imagine what people are thinking before we ever call them. And I think that this is one of the rare situations where it doesn't matter whether people are actually people that you think who might be open to it or not. All you're doing is saying, I'm on a mission to spread this good news to as many people as possible because I don't know who's holding their breath thinking they can't do this because of interest rates right now. I don't know who's doing it because people who are scared of buying because of interest rates are usually pretty quiet about it. So I'm just on a mission to spread this information. I'm not asking you to be my client. I'm not asking your friends to be my clients. I just want people to know that there's a way to get around these 7% mortgages and find a home that's a very reasonably low mortgage rate. And so it's just about like, hey, I'm on a mission to get this information to as many people as possible. So would you mind just sending it to a couple friends, sending it to everyone you know? And here's one that I'll do with folks when they're like really intensively attending our daily trainings. I'll say, think about it this way. What if you and your friend are at a party? Let's say Tristan and I are at a party and we just, I haven't met Mike, but Tristan and Mike go way back, and Mike comes up to us at the party and Mike's like, what's up, Tristan? And Tristan's like, oh, I was just talking to Nora about, these assumable mortgages and how awesome they are and how great it was last year when she was helping people, get all these homes for, very, very low rates. And, now it's a little harder. And Mike's like, wait, you knew about this last year and you didn't tell me?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know Nora from Eve, but like Tristan, you and I go way back. Like, why didn't you tell me? Dude,
Very true.
right? So
What we're
that's
also
like,
finding is that exact same conversation is happening with real estate agents.
right.
Yeah. And
And
that's just as
basically,
crazy.
yeah. And it's like the magic is, can you let go of control? Can you let go of worrying what they think? Can you let go of worrying that you're annoying people? And can you just say, I'm on a mission. I'm trying to get this to as many people as possible. Will you help me? This is a situation where I can help families save $1,000 a month for the next 25 years. Will you help me? Because you don't know how many degrees out there will be someone who is desperate for this information. And it's not about controlling the process. It's just about being mission driven, because this is truly an opportunity where you have a gift and you don't know who needs it.
The other
Very
thing
true.
that I've noticed, Tristan, is almost every single assumption transaction that I've done has led to another real estate transaction, whether it's an assumption or not. And the reason being is because imagine putting yourself in the shoes of that buyer who just closed a deal with a 2.25% rate. I've done 2 of those so far this year, 2.25%. As soon as we close on that home, in fact, as soon as these people, sometimes as soon as we get them under contract, they go to work the next day. You wouldn't believe, I just got under contract with a 2.25% interest rate. And they're telling all their colleagues at the office.
Yeah,
This happened
very
to
true.
me. I have a military guy who's stationed out in Washington State at the Navy base. And he found us on some marketing materials. We did some online marketing materials. He found us on a listing that we had for sale in Arlington. He's getting stationed at the Pentagon. And he put an offer in on this home, 2.25% VA assumable rate, a brand new construction townhome in Arlington. Beautiful home, $1 million. 2 days after we got him under contract, I get a phone call. Never heard this guy before. He's like, hey, this is my name is Tony. You just got my buddy John under contract yesterday. I want to buy a home out there too. Can you help me find one too? Never made a phone call, this guy, never did any marketing. He just talked to somebody in his office who
Yep.
learned that he just got under contract with a 2.25% rate. That client told all of his colleagues, and I start getting phone calls the next day. And now I got his buddy under contract who bought a $1.1 million home with an
Dude,
assumable mortgage.
I love
So,
that.
so just think about it from the standpoint, once you get, it's a snowball effect, more so with assumptions than any other type of transaction in real estate.
And I
Because
just
these
want to say that
people
there's so many.
are,
Go ahead.
I
Sorry,
said
Mike.
these people that they're closing these deals with these assumable mortgages, they are at the rooftops with blowhorns telling everybody they know what hack they just found in real estate. And trust me, they are excited to share that news. And
Yeah.
then as soon as somebody says, well, how did you do it? Call my buddy Tristan, call Mike Larino. They'll tell you that's who helped me. And they are proud to say who helped them do that. And you know
That's
what
right.
happened is that person who maybe that person that just learned that news is going to call their real estate agent that maybe they've worked with in the past and say, hey, do you know anything about assumptions? And what's the chances of them saying yes? Very
Very
small.
small. Very
So
No,
they're
small.
going to
no,
go,
I'll
they're
tell
going to
you
say,
what
well,
they'll
screw
say.
that. If you don't know anything about assumptions, let me go work with Tristan because Tristan
Or
knows
how
what he's
about
talking
this?
about.
Mike, I'll tell you what they'll say. They say, oh yeah, I know all about assumptions. They're terrible. Don't go near them. They take
Yeah,
forever. They're not real. They're a
it takes
scam.
forever.
You'll hear all of that. And then
Yeah,
they'll say, well, I don't know. I've got these videos and I've got these fact sheets. Maybe I should just call this other agent and see if they have anything to say.
that's exactly what will happen. So the thing that holds back a lot of the people I talk to after they were like, oh, okay, got it, it's real,
Mm-hmm.
is the loan part. That you're right about
Yeah.
that. Let's say because they still have that in the back of their head. They've never run one, so
That's right.
they feel like it's going to take 90 days. It's going to be impossible.
No
So yeah,
way.
I
No,
agree.
that's why we built out the ecosystem, because we saw this. We saw people just really, getting excited and then getting heartbroken. And we were like, no, we've got to solve every problem. We want to make assumptions easy and fun. And so if you
Partnering
ahead,
with the
Mike.
lender is a key component of this, Tristan. When you have conversations with your clients and other agents do with theirs, and say you start talking about assumptions, and every home you're finding has a $400,000, $500,000 cash gap, which in many cases nobody, most people don't have that kind of money sitting around.
Sure.
It's not a showstopper. But I pick up the phone, I introduce them to my lender. Day one, after the first conversation, hey, let's go find out what's within the realm of the possible. Call my buddy Zach Kraus, and we connect him with our lender, with Barrett Financial, and he will tell you in 15 minutes what your options are for closing that gap.
Absolutely.
And in some cases, a second mortgage is very easily attainable, and before you know it, they are now coming up with a solution where they can get a purchase HELOC, or they can do a bridge loan, and all of a sudden it's actually real.
That's
but
right.
Until they talk with the lender, they don't know that.
And every AssumeList subscriber has access to we have trainings every day at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, 5 days a week. We always introduce any subscriber that gets in contact with us and says, hey, who are the lenders? How do we get there? We introduce them. We even do it for people who get in contact with us who aren't subscribers, even though I don't know how they're going to find the homes if they're not subscribing. And I don't know how they're going to get access to all our scripts and fact sheets and videos if they're not subscribing. But we will introduce our lenders to anyone, and we will introduce our whole ecosystem to anyone. But we obviously think that we've built out this ecosystem to help people really build their business as subscribers. Now, what I'll tell you is, think back to the title of this webinar today, 3 signed agreements in 10 days. So you really got to commit, because most people, here's what I've seen them do. I've seen them get excited, call 5 friends, and be like, wow, people are really into this. And then they stop.
Yeah, that's true. That's what
right?
I've seen too.
They get their success and they're like, wow, this was awesome. And then they stop. And they get busy because, there's a leak under the sink, or there's a big show that they have to go to at the elementary school or whatever. And then they stop. And so if you actually take it on and you're like, all right, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to do it for 10 days in pain. And if it's not 50 people a day, it's 10 people a day, or it's 20 people a day. But you commit and you say, I'm not letting go of this. I'm getting in touch with everyone I can. I'm going to make this mission a scheduled part of my day. Because it's really easy to be like an ADHD real estate agent who's got a million things going, right?
It's good. It's easy to be an ADHD. That's a good one.
I don't know any agent who isn't ADHD. I haven't met, maybe there are like 3 of them on planet Earth, but like the rest of you are ADHD just like me. And I love working with you because you're so much fun. And sometimes we have to take our ADHD brains and be like, all right, and back to the routine. Let's go. 20 a day minimum. Let's go. Let's do this. If you can't do 20, do 10. But if you keep doing it, if you do 20 to 50 a day, you will have 3 signed agreements at the end of 10 days.
That's a good goal. I like that. We should do a challenge, guys. We should do a challenge.
I know, right?
For one of the summer months. That month should be like a challenge.
Yeah. Call 20 people a day about assumptions every day for 30 days and see your business skyrocket in the middle of like the deadest of dead market times.
Yeah, I like that. I'm
going to leave 2 links, Tristan, in the chat. The first one is the link to join Nora's daily Q&A, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. She is there answering questions. Basically, you want one-on-one time. Usually there's 1 or 2 or 3 people at any given day. You want your questions answered, join that session. I encourage anybody. It's completely free of charge. You do not need to be a member or subscriber.
Oh, that's cool.
Come show up, get your questions answered. We're here for you. The second link, of course, is our exclusive LCA discount for those who want to join. We have a portal where you can just enter plug an email address in. It will provide you with the email, or enter the form. You provide an email with a coupon code you can use to subscribe. And we only give this discount to the Lab Code Agent, participants and members. What do you think, Tristan? I mean, we covered it. What we wanted to cover today.
Listen, I think anybody that joins the class with Nora will come out with more energy, more insight, and the feeling like they're going to have the confidence to do this. So I highly suggest everyone jump into that. Your energy is
Subs
contagious. Thank you, Nora.
subs we just built out a bunch of new features. We have an agent directory now, so agents that subscribe will have access to every other agent who uses the platform. So if you get a referral to another state, you can send your clients to agents who have assumption experience and assumption training completely no cost. We don't charge anything. We don't take any splits. We're just going to connect you with somebody like you who has assumption experience. The second thing we just recently built out is what's called these client sub accounts. So you as a subscriber can grant free access to clients you work with to use AssumeList, and they can run their own searches, but it's interactive. You can see what properties they're searching, what they're saving, if they're commenting anything, if they set up alerts or notifications, you can see what's going out to them. If they view the same home 15 times, probably has their attention. You can see and track all the activity from inside the portal. And so there's now kind of an exchange interaction that you now have with your clients inside the platform itself. So we just built that out within a few
That's
weeks ago.
awesome.
Starting the end of this week, early next week, we will be releasing what's called this direct mail campaign built into the platform for off-market searches, off-market properties. So these are assumable homes where
Okay.
if you have a buyer that needs to buy or wants to buy in a certain neighborhood, right, there's probably not much out there. Maybe there's nothing for sale currently with an assumable mortgage. You can curate a list of homes, 50, 100, 200. And we have a direct mailing partner. When you go through the motions, you customize, we have a template, but you can customize the message and you hit send, you submit this. There's it's a cost of $1 per mailing, but these are handwritten envelopes, first class stamps, handwritten envelopes, postcards in an envelope. So
Okay.
it's not a postcard, but it's a handwritten letter in an envelope, handwritten, branded to you, custom labeled to that homeowner because we know the homeowner's name, branded with your logo, your name, your contact information on that letter. Again, first class postage, handwritten.
When did you guys start this?
Like I said, late this week, early next week, it's going to be released. We're just
Why don't we do that?
finalizing
Why
the
don't we do that as our
implementation.
next session?
We'll do this
Oh,
next
we
session.
should. We totally should.
Yeah.
Kathy, it's not a webinar. It's like an open casual Q&A. So all you need to do is come to one. Like just come to one. We're there every single day and it's really intimate. Like we only get 1, 2, 3, 4 people a day. So, give us 5 more months and we're going to get 50 people a day. But right now we're just at 1, 2 people a day, 3 people a day.
Nice. I love that. Okay, we can keep talking.
Yeah.
Next,
Here's what they
let's
look like. First class, we kind of have the attention of people. So these are actually return label, return address. You choose what return address you want. So they're locally sent, handwritten labels, first class postage. And then inside it has these labels that have your branding at the top, right? Logos. We're gonna have a QR code, and then these are handwritten cards that literally will be opened because they're handwritten with first class labels. This is not bulk mail. And the idea is that this is a way to generate listings for homes specifically curated that have, these really good low rate assumable mortgages. And you can send out as many as you want. You can farm a community, you can farm a neighborhood, a zip code, and you can set it up reoccurring. It's really, really powerful way to identify listing opportunities with homes with assumable mortgages. We're the only ones in the country doing it.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, let's do that as a session next time. I love
Cool.
that.
Thanks, Tristan.
Everyone, thank you so much. Jump into that link, get to see Nora daily, have some fun, get some energy, and then learn more about AssumeList. Mike, Nora, thank you so much. Everyone, thanks for joining in.